You know what's interesting about that, Dr. Molk, and I'm sure that you've seen that same scenario, different people play out many, many times through your 40-year career. And we have attorneys here that we do estate planning for people. We do the tax planning for people. We do the investment management. It's all part of a well-crafted retirement plan. And yet, so many times, we'll get a phone call, and that phone call will be, Dean, my mom and my dad, my mom passed away last year. My dad's not doing so good. He doesn't have a will. Can we get one of your attorneys to come over to the hospital and we can get a will put together real quick? And I think to myself, I mean, okay, I'm 55 years old. I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. My wife is 52 years old. I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon. But you know what? We don't know. We don't know how much time we're going to be afforded, right? And so I have gone to the point where I've had my estate plan in place for a number of years. My children are all adults now. We have conversations. Here's where the things are. Here's what mom and I's wishes are. God forbid something would happen. But if it does, here's where everything is and here's what we want. And here's our healthcare directives. And here's the financial powers of attorney, the healthcare powers of attorney, everything else. And I don't know why it's so difficult for people to think about that and get it done. They think, well, I don't want to go spend $3,000 on a trust or $4,000 on a trust, depending upon the part of the country that you live in. That cost is pennies in comparison to the pain and suffering that you put the entire family through. And then you wind up going through probate, and the probate courts take the money anyway.
Dean, again, you hit the nail on the head. I can tell you, and there are studies that have shown that in situations where families do have a conversation and they do choose palliative care, that the rate of PTSD is low as compared to people where there's chaos, where there's been I call it chaos because it is chaos, where there was no conversation held because it was, I use the word taboo because I just like phrasing it that way because, well, we don't want to talk about that. It's too painful, even though it absolutely needs to be talked about because it is an eventuality, as you just described. And Dean, there are two kinds of death that we see. There's expected and unexpected. And I see both of them in the ER. I've seen many cases of both through my career in the ER. You know, the unexpected is a tragic case of, a shooting, a car accident, someone falling off a building, someone who has an unexpected massive heart attack, someone who has a ruptured aneurysm of the brain. And then you got the expected death, where death is really not expected. The 94-year-old lady I spoke about, sooner or later, she was going to get pneumonia and it's going to be a terminal event. There's so much we can do to decrease the trauma to the family by having the conversation. I see that. I see what I call a good death, where the family, for example, I had a gentleman not long ago came in with a massive aneurysm. He wasn't going to make it, and he had advanced directives. And of course, the family were devastated, but they knew that the outcome was going to be bad. And they said, you know what? We don't want, he would not want to be on a ventilator if we know he's got such a massive brain hemorrhage, there's going to be no recovery. And the decision making for everyone was easier. The death was much more peaceful. We were able to wean him off the ventilator. The family was able to be there. It was what I call a good death, a beautiful death. As opposed to the chaos what occurs when the families in all this disarray and no one knows what the wishes were, and then we have to get legal involved, or we have to get ethics involved, and it becomes a ball of confusion, which is what I would consider, most people consider to be a very bad death. So we need to be reminded, as you just did, death can come at any time, and having your advance directives is an act of love and kindness to your family. And that's really a good way to look at it. You are doing something for your loved ones and for your children, your spouse, by making a very difficult and sometimes tragic situation just a little bit better.
Starting your route to retirement.